Well, good evening, everybody. Hope you've had an awesome Tuesday so far. And today is exactly that. It's Holy Tuesday. And today's a really interesting day within the Passion Week because there's actually a ton of events that take place, but a lot of times they kind of get swept under the rug because they're not necessarily what seem like significant moments. And so there's a couple parts to today. One is that the disciples go by the fig tree again and they get to see that the fig tree is withered. And then the second main thing that happens is there's all of these controversies and conversations that happen when they're in the temple. The religious leaders are getting more and more frustrated with Jesus, and so the temperature is rising and debates are starting to take place, and they're trying to pin Jesus down so that they can arrest him. And one of the best parts, in my opinion, is in Matthew chapter 22, starting in verse 34. They're trying to pin Jesus down. And it says this in verse 34. But when the Pharisees heard that he had silenced the Sadducees, they gathered together. And one of them, a lawyer, asked him a question to test him. Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law? And he said to him, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments depend all the law and the prophets. And so they were trying to pin Jesus down to maybe make some laws seem more significant than others and really kind of trap him. And within that attempt to trap him, Jesus outlines the entire Bible. He takes the whole thing and sums it up into a phrase. And so as we're going through this Passion Week, and there's the temptation to get caught up, at least for me, in some of the religious practices, it's refreshing just to keep the main thing the main thing. And according to Jesus, he says, love God and love him with everything you have. Love him with your heart, your mind, your soul, all encompassed. Love God and love people. And so the application is just do some evaluation. What does it look like to love God? One, establish what that is. And then two, are you walking in that? And then the same thing for people. Are you loving people as you love yourself? Or are you only loving certain groups of people? Or are you maybe not loving people at all? Really, this whole faith system, this concept of Christianity, and it's much more than a concept, but I'm just going to use that word for right now, is based on love, the love of Jesus. For God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten Son, that whoever should believe in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. The whole thing is rooted in love. So as you're going through Passion Week, the question is, how are you loving God and how are you loving people?